Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another video. So I've gone and made another app. This time it's an industrial AI assistant. It's pretty cool. I've been looking for a reason basically to upgrade my PC. So I'll just quickly show you it. I've got CPU doing about 4 gigahertz there. It's an AMD 4 one, Ryzen 7. And I've got 64 gig RAM. Again, DDR4. And then my GPU is a Ryzen RX 570. And I think I have found the perfect reason to try and upgrade my PC. So what I've done is I wanted to learn more about AI. I use AI all the time, right? Like everybody does. But I'm literally using ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini every day. Like literally, even Saturdays and Sundays. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a way to run them locally. Like I want to learn more about AI in terms of, well, okay, how does it actually work on the back end? So this front end UI that you're looking at now, I've made it. I've made it in Electron. I shouldn't have started that. Let's stop that. Will that work? That does work perfectly. Okay. So if I show you, ignore my Halo background, industrial AI assistant. So I've made the Electron JS app, which, I've got the code open here. There's quite a lot of stuff going on here, but essentially it's not, it is a lot actually. It's taken me probably a few weeks of work, to be fair. You got about 1,000 lines of code here in the main JS file. This is all JavaScript. But anyways, so the app is fully installed. So if I type in industrial AI assistant, hit enter, and then that pops up. And so what it does is it checks my GitHub and looks for some documents to see what documents I have. And essentially, what it does is it takes a look at the documents I have, and then when you ask it a question, so if I say, what color do e-stops? It's not very good actually, so I'm going to say emergency stops. What color do emergency stops need to be? And what this chatbot does is I've got the chatbot running locally on my machine, so this will work offline. The bit about GitHub where it just checks what's online, if it doesn't have internet access, it will just look at the files that are installed locally. So locally, it currently comes with 9 documents. So here I've got the machinery directive, I've got the EN 60204, I've got the low voltage directive, I've got some ISA 99 and ISA 95. So it's like cybersecurity and stuff like that. So I've got some documents there, which, I'll just show you. If I go to open folder, I've got them in their text format because PDFs are a bit messy. So if I go ISA 99 cybersecurity framework, open it up, you got all this text here. And so essentially, this is just a PDF that I've converted into text. So when you install the app, it comes with all this text. And then what the app does is, when I ask it a question, it then goes through these documents and answers based on that. So it's come up with this answer, which I think the accuracy at the moment, there's a lot of flaws with this app. This is a very much first revision for me, and there's a lot that I need to work on actually. So I'm just kind of showing you it just to see that, like, so far, like, I want to get back into the days where I was documenting what I was doing on my channel and not just showing you the end product. So this is very much revision 1 of this software, and I'm going to try and go to revision 10. So let's just see what the answer came back with. What color do emergency stops need to be? So context is looked at EN 60204-1 2018. The combination of a red actuator with a yellow background for start off actuators is recommended. However, red is not permitted and yellow or green are preferred colors for stop or off. What? Red is not permitted and yellow or green are preferred colors for stop/off actuators. Okay. The preferred colors for stop/off actuators are blue, white for white dials, red, yellow. So I don't really understand this. So let's give it another task. Actually, I'll show you. Actually. Let me show you. Down here, I've got a few different models. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 models. So this tiny llama one, this is a very fast but very small model. And it's been interesting actually me learning how these models work. So basically what I'm doing is I'm using something called Ollama. If I open that, Is it gonna open? Doesn't look like it is. Anyways, Olama is basically like a way of managing all of my AI apps. Sorry, all of my LLMs. So large language models, right? And so what Olama does is it allows me to download all these. I'm surprised. So okay, Olama's running. I was thinking, why is it not opened? But I guess it's running there. Okay, that's fine. So I can't show you it. Um, so, anyways, this alarm it's fully offline, and what it does is the AI. It's like the AI engine. So I talk to Olama, and then it talks to the different models. So inside this Olama, I have different models. So this tiny llama is the lightning fast model. I can go to Gemma, which is one of I think Google DeepMinds. That's their model. So I can change these models and ask the same question. And I'm not, as of yet, I'm not fully aware of what model's best. Um, but basically, the big problem I have with this app, which I'll go into now, is I've got my CPU stats and stuff up here. So if I show you here now, this is my GPU's software, the Radeon software, and my CPU is getting hammered right now, 99% utilization. My temperature is 85 degrees. Do some cooking on that. And my GPU is at 0%. So I'm not using my GPU at all. And then so look, so it CPU spiked up to 99%. It's dropped back down now to 16%. And so I can guarantee it's finished the answer there. So every time I ask it a question, the CPU gets hammered. And so you can see here, each time I've got it to display the performance stats. So when I asked it this question, it took 31 seconds to respond. It looked at these two documents, EN60204-1, machine directory, and then the CPU performance on average spiked up to 96%. It used only a quarter of my RAM, so what, roughly 8 gig? What do I have? 64 gig, so 16 gig RAM, and it didn't use my GPU. So the big problem with Olama is on Windows, I can't get it to use my GPU, especially because my GPU is an AMD GPU. So next step for me is I need to either buy an NVIDIA GPU or use some different AI manager tools, basically. So I'm looking into that right now. But you can see I've asked it there, what color do emergent stops need to be? This is the Google's Gemma model. It responded much better. So this is a whole bunch of blech. Even there you can see with GRR or black as alternative. Like what? So anyways, I've asked Gemma, the Gemma model, and according to the context, so the context being here, these documents that it has, emergency stops need to be colored red with a yellow background, which is perfect. So if I ask now Moon Dream, so Moon Dream is one of the models from Hugging Face. I'll ask that what color do emergency stops need to be. So my goal here is to upload all of the different standards, that some of which I've read, obviously, and some of which that I obviously definitely have not read. Upload all of them, so have about 50, 100 different documents, and then, oh, it failed. Alarm and no content can be found. Okay, so I don't have this model installed. I did have it installed, so I must have uninstalled it for some reason. Don't know, can't remember why. So let's ask Llama 3 instead. And what we'll do is we'll ask it instead. Let's ask it, what documents, what do I need to put into my risk assessment? So I'm not sure there's any documents here. Maybe the machinery directive. Oh, EN60204 covers risk assessments as well. So it needs to pass through these text files and then try and find the answer. And what I want to do is I want to restrict the app or restrict the LLMs so that they only answer based upon what's in the documents. So I'm trying to get rid of hallucinations, because when I'm at work and I'm talking to ChatGPT or Claude, there's so many times I'll say to it, can you quote it? Can you tell me what do I need to do? Obviously I don't ask it this, but I can't think of an example. I asked it, for example, what's the minimum conductor size that should be used in a control panel? And I think it got this one right where it said 0.5 mil. I didn't know the answer to this. But then what happened, sometimes I'll ask it, okay, well, can you quote the standard where you're getting this information from, quote the standard. It'll say, oh, in EN60204, it clearly says that minimum conductor size should be 0.5 mil. And then when I open up the standard and I look for this section 6.3 or whatever, it doesn't exist. And it just totally hallucinated it. and made it up. So I'm trying to get rid of that. Anyways, you can see I've asked this big llama model, and my CPU is getting hammered. My mouse is lagging. 99% CPU usage. So this is something I'm gonna have to solve. But again, I'm running it locally, and it's totally free, which is mental. So it's totally offline and totally free. So as these models get better, obviously, like I said, I'm using it. My computer now is 5 years old, and when I built it, and there's a new generation of AMD CPUs, there's a new generation of GPUs. So I can't wait now to upgrade my PC and then just like get a much beefier model running, and then just really see what I can do here. Obviously, I could use ChatGPT's API, in which case it would access ChatGPT's models or Claude models, and then I could pay for each request. But I just want to see, can I run it locally? Can I run it for free? Can I run it open source? So that's the plan. So this is taking forever, as you can see. I just asked it what do I need to put in my risk assessment, and it's still going on, which is mental. So let me mention to you, I could show you the code, but I don't think there's much interest in the code. Let's go through the tech stack. So basically, I can't use my computer. My computer right now is just not working. So what I do is when I edit this video, I'll overlay what I'm talking about. I was going to show you on the internet, but essentially the tech stack is, the different technologies. Think about a burger, like what makes up this software. So the front end that you're looking at here, this is all Electron JS, which I've been using for, almost a year now. And I love it so much. It's such a quick way. Oh, it's answered. It's such a quick way to deploy an app. So this whole front end is Electron JS. So if I press Control Shift I, it should bring up. Oh, come on, I'm lagging. How's my CPU doing? This poor CPU. 100% utilization. Are you gonna drop down? So even though it's okay, so it must still be answering. Okay, it's answered now. So that query took 172 seconds to finish, which is mental. It passed through ISA so it went through all my documents and it found some 46% relevance in two of these documents. It's 46% confident that it got the right answer, which is interesting. So what did I ask it? What do I need to put in my risk assessment? Zones and conduits. Group your assets logically or physical based on risk or other criteria such as criticality of assets. So I think this is kind of approaching it from a cybersecurity standpoint. It mentioned that risk assessment process does not specify the exact methodology to be used. However, an example using the risk matrix methodology is included as informative content. So it's going over zone conduit risk assessment. Yeah, it's kind of more of a cybersecurity thing, which I don't know anything about. I'll probably remove this cybersecurity stuff just because I'm not really in that area. Identify zones. Okay, so yeah, I mean I'll give that. That's pretty bad, I'd say. All right, let's grab an image off Google of an e-stop. Let's do a Siemens normally closed contactor. No, contact block. Sorry, I know I'm off screen here. So what I can do, which this was crazy. When I implemented this, I almost cried from joy. So what I do is I've got an image here. I'll paste it in, and it takes. Oh, sorry, I've got this. So this is the console thing where you can see. I was basically talking about Electron JS and how you can see here my index.html renderer. So you can, on this app here, you can see all of my code. So if you was to have this app, there's all the code. And to be honest, it's written very well. Index CSS and the index HTML. So if I was to start changing industrial automation AI assistant, as you can see, that's on that app. That's on the title bar there. Hamed. It's not gonna let me edit. Okay, that's fine. I thought I was in. Obviously, I'm not in Chrome. All right, we'll close this. So upload this and say, what is this device? Oh, it's gonna try and. Yeah, I made some changes here. It's gonna try and use Moondream to read this, but it won't work because I don't have Moondream installed. What's this device? Let's see. It should error out because it just told me I didn't have Moondream. Oh, it's going to give it a go. Okay, cool. So yeah, essentially this front end is Electron JS. Look at my GPU utilization has gone to 85%. Is it using my GPU? It's back down to 5%. No, CPU has gone to 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98%. 98 Yeah, I was gonna say that Olama doesn't support AMD GPUs, so yeah. Anyways, okay. So front end is Electron.js, like I said, which is essentially HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Extremely easy code to write. Like you wouldn't have, I don't think anyone watching this and interested in this, I don't think you'd have any problem really understanding what's going on there, right? Like that is extremely easy code. And then the renderer and the main JS on VS Code, it ain't easy, but like once you've learned Electron JS, is pretty simple. You just kind of get the communication protocol between the renderer and main JS and the preload, and it's not too bad. So that came back bloody quick, which is mental. So what was that? 42 seconds. It read my image and said the image features a black electronic device, possibly an electric switch or control panel. Oh, it's not a control panel. With a red button located in the bottom right corner of it. The device appears to be part of an automation solution as indicated by its presence in the center of the image. No, rubbish. All right, let's paste it in again and see if we can select Llama 7 billion parameter model. So the Llama models are Facebook's models, which I think Facebook are ahead in terms of open source. Maybe, I guess DeepSeek. I do have Quen, which is the Alibaba model as well, which is, it's crazy that you get a wide variety. What is this device? So now I'm asking Facebook's model. But again, crazy that all of this is running locally, which is, yeah, just mental. There's even a Microsoft model here, which is the Phi 3 Mini. Very good model, that as well. That was the model I originally started with, which is very good. So essentially what I'm doing here is the Electron.js is the front end, like I said, and then it accesses Olama in the back end, and it gets a bit confusing here. There's something called vectorization, where I think AI or these large language models, they just process everything in terms of massive strings of binary numbers, right? So like, I think these are called vectors, where it's just a massive array of numbers. It's quite weird to understand, but when I ask a question, it converts that text question into a string of numbers, and then even this picture, it's converting it into these vectors of numbers. And then what it does is it takes the documents, which are already passed through the documents, and it's converted those text documents into those vectors as well. And then it's basically comparing my question to those documents to find a match. It's really like, I don't even know. It's a bit like spot the difference or something. It's just try and make a matching pair. It's a bit weird, really. So that essentially the front end you're looking at is the Electron JS, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Behind that you have Node.js, which is where the main process, main JS, is talking to like the renderer and the preload in the back end, and so you got the whole Electron JS front end and back end a bit, really, right? Then you've got Olama, which is hosting that local LLM, right, where it's talking to that large language model, right? And then there's this thing called RAG, which I can't remember what it stands for. Something augmented generation. Essentially what that this is kind of the whole concept of the app, really, that it is reading documents and answering questions in a chatbot style based upon those documents. And then you use like some database thing called ChromaDB, which I won't go into. And then there's this confusing concept of embedding, which I didn't really get, so I just got AI to do all of that bit, which was, yeah, I mean, it was easy for the AI to do it. I didn't really get it at all. So you ask it a question gets embedded in, which is like converted into a vector. Then these documents, so this EMC directive, it's converted into 49 different chunks of 300 characters each. So it chunks up the document, and then, which I wasn't sure if this was the right approach, but this is what ChatGPT suggested to me, so I just went with it. But it takes the document, imagine, into like small paragraphs basically, and then goes through my question, my vector now, and tries to find which one matches the most basically. And then it then comes back with this answer. So it's a bit mental how long. My CPU's just been hammered. Hey, look, it's answering now. So how long did that take? That took 199 seconds. It thinks it's about 42.5% accurate. And so the image shows a black electronic component labeled Siemens. This appears to be an industrial control device, likely designed for use in monitoring or controlling industrial processes. Given that context of ISA IEC, this could potentially be part of a safety system, as indicated by the presence of the red emergency. No, okay. So let's try this just quickly. I can't imagine that this is I guess gonna expose the weakness of my app. So if we go to ChatGPT now, what is this? I mean, it's not going to struggle at all, is it? It's a normally closed contact block for push buttons. There you go. It's got the part number, everything. So that's where I need to get to, basically. The speed of that is insane, right? That did not take 199 seconds. And then it's just totally accurate as well, whilst here, this is just not accurate at all. So yeah, this is where I'm at so far. I hope you guys like it. I think it's pretty cool. I like it. If I can get this working, which it works, right? Like it's crazy that it actually works. So if I go back to Tiny Llama and just say, do you recommend people subscribe to Hamed? I don't actually know what it's gonna say here. But yeah, I think it's mental that it's currently working, and hopefully you guys will see another video. It's probably gonna take me a while to get. I've got to basically scrap the Olama stuff and try and run an LLM that's going to work on and use my GPU. So certainly, as per the information provided in the given text, becoming a BSI subscribing member, I guess that's the British Standards Institute, entitles you to receive the latest hard copy of your standards when they're revised. So I guess, like, look, our system confidence, it's only 19.9%. So what I might do, what would be cool actually, is to highlight this system confidence more. Because, oftentimes I don't really look at this, right? So 19% confidence. And then just like kind of make it go, like put a big X if it's less than 50% certain, which I think all of these answers were less than 50% certain. 67% there. Oh yeah, that was the only correct answer. 67%, 67% there, and that was just total garbage. Yeah, so I'm thinking, yeah, that's just an idea, that a UI thing, but that would be easy to implement. Anything UI related is very easy. So I think what I'm going to do is, there's two options I've got. One of them is LM Studio, which I'm looking at right now. This is a way of using using models basically. So if I let's see, I don't have a model here. So what model are you? It shouldn't. Yeah, no model selected. I didn't think so. Model. Okay, that was it. Gemma. And then so I could download Gemma, which is a Google model, 12 billion parameter one, 8.5 gig. And I think what I can do is I can start the model in LM Studio, and then have my app then talk to LM Studio, which means I need to open two apps, which is a bit weird considering the fact that this is already a chat interface that runs locally. So maybe I've kind of just been a bit silly here, and I've just redone LM Studio, and LM Studio is obviously going to be better. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just learning, but this is pretty cool, and hopefully I'll keep going with this. Cool. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Next video, or sorry, not the next video, but the next video on this topic of this AI app, I'm either going to go and buy myself an NVIDIA GPU, or I might upgrade my CPU. So right now I've got a Ryzen 2700X or something. So I might upgrade my CPU just so then the models will go faster, because obviously it takes time. What's your name? And then let's ask the fastest model. Lava 13. Sorry, not the fastest, the most advanced model that I've got, which is the Lava 13 billion parameter one. So this hammers my CPU. As you can see, my CPU now is 72%, 81%. So I can either upgrade my CPU, so this will be faster. I can go and buy an NVIDIA GPU, and then redo the Olama backend a bit, and then get that working with the GPU. I can do that. Or I can get rid of Olama and use a different model. Or I can do the LM Studio integration. So I'll do one of those things, see how it goes. But yeah, I think if I can get to a point where my app running locally can take an image of that Siemens contact block, and I ask it what it is, and it comes back with ChatGPT's response, basically like that, in that quality, in that speed, or maybe a bit slower, but somewhere around that sort of area, ballpark speed, like under 10 seconds, I'll be extremely happy. Like, you know, considering I pay £20 a month for ChatGPT, you know, if I can get it running locally offline, that'd be really cool. And then, you know, even when I'm at work, I can just remote desktop onto my PC, and then run models from there. Or because obviously, well, I mean, maybe I could get my work laptop. It's got a GPU in it, but unfortunately, I've got a laptop at work, so yeah. Unless I convince them to get me a desktop. Cool. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully, I'll get more videos out. I'm sorry I don't post enough videos. I kind of like sit here geeking out. Like, there's some other projects that I'm working on right now, and I just kind of sit here in silence in my attic, writing away and having fun. And I need to share more, so I apologize to my future self for not sharing more, and to you guys. I'll see you next one. Take care. Bye bye. I can't even. I just tried to move my mouse over to OBS Studios to press stop recording, but because of oh, do you know what? I wonder actually, the whole quality of this video might be totally down the drain because I've been hammering my CPU. Deary me. So this whole video might be a total waste of time. Interesting to see. Hopefully. I mean, if it is, you won't be seeing it because I won't post it. Hopefully I'm wrong, and at least OBS Studio has been able to keep up with all of this madness of my CPU getting hammered. But yeah, I mean, look, I've been talking for whatever now, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and this thing is still not been able to figure out what its name is. Yeah, my poor CPU. So as I can't even, like, I go to try and stop the video and it just lags like crazy. 96% utilization, CPU temperature 86.3 degrees. All right, cool. I'll just stop this query because I don't think we're going to be able to figure out this thing's name anytime soon. Stop. Cool. All right, nice one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.